George Russell's agonizing near victory at Formula One's Sakhir Grand Prix has reignited the debate about the superiority of the Mercedes car, in which Lewis Hamilton won a record, equaling 7th world title. It comes after F1 legend Sir Jackie Stewart and various rival drivers spoke out about how the Mercedes car was so far ahead of the rest of the field that it was diminishing the sport. Red Bull driver Max Verstappen said recently that 90% of the field could win in that car because it was so dominant. And McLaren driver Lando Norris said last month that Mercedes' dominance is making Formula One boring. Even regular Mercedes driver Valtteri Bottas admitted he was made to look like a complete C and a fool to those who didn't follow F1, as Russell outshone him in his first Grand Prix in the Mercedes car. Russell took the Mercedes seat over the weekend with Hamilton in isolation after contracting coronavirus, and almost pulled off a fairy tale win in Sunday night's race. The 22-year-old British driver would have won but for a rare pit-lane mix up by the Mercedes mechanics that demoted him from first to fifth place. And even then, the Mercedes car had such speed that Russell could easily have won, only for a puncture to end his pursuit of eventual winner Sergio Perez. For many F1 fans on social media, it proved that anyone driving the Mercedes car is able to win a race, and, for some, that Hamilton's achievements are diminished as a result. Earlier this year, before Hamilton equaled Michael Schumacher's record haul of 7 world titles, Stewart, 81, said it was difficult to justify saying he was the greatest driver of all time. Lewis drives extremely well, make no mistake, I'm not in any way diminishing his skills, but it isn't the same, Stewart told the In the Fast Lane podcast. But, frankly, the car and the engine are now so superior that it's almost unfair on the rest of the field. And after rookie Williams driver Russell qualified just 0.026 seconds behind Bottas in Bahrain, then finished in the points in 9th place, many fans agreed with him. One wrote, "Can't help but think Mercedes is questioning Lewis Hamilton's $50 million a year salary with each lap the young replacement George Russell leads. Also bet Lewis wishes he got his next contract done before this race, losing negotiating power by the second." Another tweeted, "Yes, it's certainly made me think that Lewis Hamilton gets paid far too much just to sit in a car and steer it around a race circuit." Another F1 fan wrote, "I would imagine that at Mercedes-Benz are thankful that George Russell didn't win the GP, as it would have taken the shine off at Lewis Hamilton being brilliant, not the car that anyone could win in." One other tweet said, "After watching a very entertaining GP yesterday and as great fan of Lewis Hamilton, it just proves to me unless you're a good driver in a great car, then you're not going to get anywhere. George Russell is a very good prospect, but only because in Merc." Others quoted Stewart and said, "Sir Jackie tells it like it is. Sure, Hamilton can drive, but his job is very easy, driving one of the best cars ever in F1. Another said, "Hamilton is the GOAT, greatest of all time, better than Schumacher they tell me. George steps into his car and tops the chart in 2 practice sessions, nearly gets pole and would won this race without the Mercedes pit mess and a puncture." 2007 season finished, 2nd wins and podiums, 4 wins, 12 podiums, 109 points, world champion, Kimi Raikkonen, 110 points with Ferrari. It was a record-breaking year for Hamilton in his debut season, where he came within a point of winning the world title as a rookie. However, in the penultimate race in China, Hamilton's title hopes went up in smoke when he famously went into the gravel trap at the start of the pit lane. 2008 season finished, 1st wins and podiums, 5 wins, 10 podiums, 98 points, world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's success in the sport continued, but this time, he would get his maiden title at the end of it in dramatic circumstances. Having amassed 5 wins and 10 podiums, it was his final victory in Brazil that saw him win the title on the last lap and upset home favorite Felipe Massa. 2009 season finished, 5th wins and podiums, 2 wins, 5 podiums, 49 points, world champion, Jenson Button, 95 points with Brawn. After a successful 2 years in Formula One, Hamilton's form dropped off and he finished down in 5th. While he still found himself on the podium, he rarely challenged as fellow Brit Jenson Button sealed the title. 2010 season finished, 4th wins and podiums, 3 wins, 9 podiums, 240 points, world champion, Sebastian Vettel, 256 points with Red Bull. Hamilton was still suffering from a hangover from his title-winning campaign, which left fans wanting more from the Brit. Sebastian Vettel's dominant 4-year spell with Red Bull begins. 2011 season finished, 5th wins and podiums, 3 wins, 6 podiums, 227 points, world champion, Sebastian Vettel, 392 points with Red Bull, now in an inferior car at McLaren. Things still aren't looking good for Hamilton and finishes once again in a lowly 5th, his joint lowest finish in Formula 1. 2012 season finished 4th, wins and podiums, 4 wins, 7 podiums, 190 points, world champion, Sebastian Vettel, 281 points with Red Bull. Hamilton vowed to return to his best and managed to achieve 4 wins in his final season in a McLaren. However, he was still 90 points adrift of Vettel in a blistering Red Bull. 2013 season finished 4th, wins and podiums, 1 win, 5 podiums, 189 points, world champion, Sebastian Vettel, 397 points with Red Bull. Hamilton left McLaren to join up with childhood karting team mate Nico Rosberg at Mercedes. The move was a shock to fans and pundit alike and managed just 1 win that season. 2014 season finished 1st, wins and podiums, 11 wins, 16 podiums, 384 points, world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's dominance in the sport begins as he storms to his 2nd world title and 1st with Mercedes as he and Rosberg battle it out for the title. However, the Brit is far superior to his German team mate. 2015 season finished 1st, wins and podiums, 10 wins, 17 podiums, 381 points, world champion, Lewis Hamilton. A 2nd successive world title for Hamilton in the Silver Arrows, which saw the use of turbo hybrid engines a year earlier, contribute to his dominance in the sport. 2016 season finished 2nd, wins and podiums, 10 wins, 17 podiums, 380 points, world champion, Nico Rosberg, 385 points with Mercedes. Nico Rosberg finally gets the better of Hamilton, but he would be the only man to do so from this year onwards. Rosberg retires immediately after winning the championship by 5 points. 2017 season finished 1st, wins and podiums, 9 wins, 13 podiums, 363 points, world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton is back on top following Rosberg's retirement with Valtteri Bottas driving the other Mercedes. However, has no competition for Hamilton, who wins his 4th world title. 2018 season finished 1st, wins and podiums, 11 wins, 17 podiums, 408 points, world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Still no competition for Hamilton in what has become a superior car in Formula 1. Racks up a staggering 408 points that year. 2019 season finished 1st, wins and podiums, 11 wins, 17 podiums, 413 points, world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton matches his 2018 podiums and wins total while bettering his points haul by 5 more points. His most dominant year yet. 2020 season finished 1st, wins and podiums, 11 wins, 13 podiums, 332 points, world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton storms to his 4th successive title and matches Michael Schumacher's record of 7 world titles. Still one more race left on the calendar.